At Risi Pizzeria and Italian Cuisine in Canfield, the pizza, the sandwiches, the everything on the menu might very well be the best thing you've ever tasted.
That's really what it's all about. That's the food brings people together.
And yet, after seeing this story, it might be the very last thing on your mind. You see, Joe Risi, the owner who never stops learning or improving or caring, was once a very long way from here. He was in his early 20s, he was a business owner, a husband and a father, and he was out of control.
I used to say, one with the bottom of the barrel. I was one with the bottom of the barrel.
Drugs and alcohol were at the center of that barrel.
One thing led to another. I think it was less than a year we were done. We had to shut down the door. I had to leave town. I was in a bad way, really bad way. Got a job working for a local company, not food related. And the one manager there was a pastor, and he would pull me aside and talk to me all the time. And I'm like, okay, man, yeah, whatever. He was younger than me. I didn't give him that much credence.
Joe's poor decisions continued, and he lost that job too.
I was really in a bad place mentally, spiritually. I was broke and started doing some more drugs, and I ended up losing my job there. Should have went to jail, should have went to prison. But the owners of that company, they got together and they talked with my brother and they said, hey, tell him if he goes to a recovery program, and particularly Teen Challenge, that we won't press charges. I didn't want to go to jail.
The only problem was that Teen Challenge was in Michigan. Joe was in so much trouble with the law that he had to stay local.
They sent me to the rescue mission in Newcastle, and they had a program there called True Life Men's Ministry, and that's where I ended up staying. I was only supposed to stay for the 10 months, then get a job, and go back, integrate back into society.
He had lost everything at this point: his business, his family, his reputation, and what could have felt like a 10-month prison sentence turned into a 4-year experience that was freeing, to say the very least.
The day that my program was over, I remember talking to the pastor and saying, hey, today's my 10th month. I'm not in a hurry to leave. I'm not trying to run out of here. Just letting you know. And he looked at me and he said, that's crazy. And I said, why? And he says, because the guy who runs the kitchen just quit. And he says, you don't have to do this as a full-time job, but if you're interested, maybe help us out for the meantime, if you want to run the kitchen. And so I got to work there at the mission in Newcastle and run the kitchen there. And it was an amazing time of my life. It really was.
Today, we see Joe in a different kitchen, his kitchen, surrounded by the family he almost lost and the family he and his wife, Amy, have built over the last 2 decades.
Lots of love, lots of love. When my wife and I got married, we had 6 boys. And so it was a lot of yelling and boy stuff. Dinner time was crazy, but love was, it was huge. The kids love each other today. They still get together when we still get together and everybody's there. It's like they're 12 years old again. And
Joe's team is full of family and people who now feel like family. The brand and the pizza that started with his food truck now has a firm foundation in Canfield.
I'm amazed at the staff that I have. Some of them were here when we purchased all the equipment and everything. They're fantastic. My family has stepped in, and I have a lot of my sons working here. And then we have other staff members too that have come on, people that I've known for years. Just how the process has been an amazing walk. It's just been like it's ordained.
And as you marvel at Joe's practically perfect food, never forget the path it took to get here. Sometimes we all need to take a moment to marvel at the imperfections too. People would never know.
No, it's I look at it like the building. If you drove by that building, it's drab, nothing spectacular, not a lot of, it's just not a beautiful building. But it's like a clamshell. You see a clamshell, it's like, oh, that's pretty, but not really. They're kind of ugly, they're drab colors. But if you crack it open and you have a pearl inside, how much worth is that pearl? And that, what was going on inside that rescue mission, when you got people that are busted. And by the same token, you form that pearl by a little grain of sand that gets in there and irritates that clam. And it's all those irritations in your life that if you allow them to, if you just give up, if you just surrender and you just legitimately give up control and just watch what can happen in the right circumstances with the right leading, what can happen in your life. It could be an amazing life.